So how much did you pay for the lot, if I can ask? And Rich, what's the formula you're using for paying your contractor?
Meet the queen.
Meet the queen of the man. Here's Elma. This is the house right here. The new house.
Yeah.
Very tall. Is this like your man cave up here? Is that what you got going on?
The house didn't cost me as much as I thought it was going to.
Okay.
And I'm going to show you how to do it and make a lot bigger house doing it yourself.
Okay.
"10 years as a single guy, making every mistake you could ever make. I did them all.
Yeah.
You know, I spent a lot of money, especially on dating.
So this is Vista Verde. This is where you currently live, Rich.
Right.
We're here with Rich, and he has lived in
Be right
Vista
back.
Verde for 5 years, and he pays 20,000 pesos a month. And the house that we're going to go see here is going to become vacant in a few months. So this is Vista Verde. It's a single-family home, guard-gated subdivision. You've lived here 5 years.
I'll just show you some of these homes. These are mostly all owned, and they go anywhere from 10 million to 14 million.
What is the average rental price in here?
It's more like $500 US a month. There's a lot of nice homes, a lot of nice people here. This is a very nice subdivision. The lady that does all the karaoke, and you can really hear, she's got an open patio, and it's pretty sharp.
So you can
I
hear
can hear her
when she's doing
and her
karaoke.
family, yeah. And they'll do it on holidays.
How does she sing?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
And
And there's the 4 German Shepherds.
right here.
At 4 o'clock in the morning, they'd start barking all the time. So I would come down here and fill all their water bowls.
Yeah.
Then I'd give them a bunch of food.
Yeah. And they stop barking.
And they stopped barking.
Yeah.
Then he caught me feeding his dogs.
Yeah.
And he started doing it. He started giving them a lot more.
Yeah.
You know,
They live outside in front.
They-
These are like guard dogs. They spend the
Yeah.
whole day out here, 24 hours a day.
This house, I thought there was a minimum in this subdivision.
It's very
for
small.
building. It's very small.
Yeah.
But they did it really nice. I was talking to the contractor, and he was saying that it's about 5 million.
So like
And-
90,000
Yeah, and I
US
said,
dollars.
well,
That's
Well,
plus. What do you think the land costs?
oh, it's 35,000.
35,000 US for a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So he's in for 130, 125 if he paid 35,000 for
Right.
the land.
And I'm going to show you how to do it and make a lot bigger house doing it yourself.
Okay.
This is my house
Here on the right.
right here.
Okay. That's good. And this is a rental. You've been here 5 years.
5 years. 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath with a patio.
And this is
Yeah.
KL right here.
No, that's the high school.
Oh, that's the
KL's right
back
here.
Okay.
See that yellow apartment over there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's the apartments for
Okay.
KL.
So you've been happy here for 5 years.
Right.
Are these your scooters?
Yeah, these are mine. I got a Fazio and an NMAX. We ride the electric bikes a
Yeah.
lot, just around neighborhoods and stuff. 'cause
Yeah.
Last time I went on the main road, I crashed and burned because my front tire went flat.
I was just about to ask you, like, what's the
It's
safety
just me.
record here?
It's just and I've been riding motorcycles since.
So this property, you're paying 20,000 pays. How many bedrooms? How many baths?
And we 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2 living areas.
And you've been here
Yeah.
5 years. They've
Yeah.
never raised the rent.
No, 5 years starting coming up in July.
And the landlord's going to be looking for a new renter
Yeah.
approximately when?
And May.
So
See
you
if I-
you would give a referral and a recommendation if somebody wanted to rent this.
Oh yeah, they've been excellent. They've been
Okay.
excellent landlords.
You've been building
Mm-hmm.
in Golden Globe
Since June 18th.
June 18th of last year. So it's been like 10 months
Mm-hmm.
or 9.5 months. And
Mhm.
it's Golden Globe on the golf course or adjacent to the golf course?
No, it's right behind the mall.
Behind the mall. So
Behind the
this subdivision is actually
This one's on the golf course. Over here.
over on the other
See
side.
The trees?
Yeah.
That's Pueblo.
Pueblo. Okay.
Yeah.
So some of the people
So-
in here live on the golf course.
Yeah. And you can take the road and not go on the main road. You can take the road. There's a concrete road all the way to the golf course.
Okay.
So
And where you're
but this-
moving.
This is the HOA president,
Okay.
and 2 years ago, he built this.
Oh, look at this garage.
Yeah, he built this.
And they have for karaoke.
For karaoke.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a super nice guy. He's president of the HOA.
Yeah, he can do what he wants.
He lives right behind us.
It looks like he has an extra lot that he just for the garage.
Exactly.
Usually there's 0 lot lines in these subdivisions.
Right.
Coconut tree here.
Right.
So why did you decide to move to Golden Globe?
Well, we bought that lot before we moved to the Philippines.
Before you moved?
Yeah, before we moved here.
So let's just back up. You've been married how long?
12 years.
12 years. How'd you meet? How'd you meet
with my wife for 14 years?
And how'd you meet Elma?
I met her in Chicago.
Okay.
She was working at a factory, and I was the head of appliances for Sears.
Okay.
So I was working at Hoffman Estates at corporate office, and I'd been going to the Philippines for about 10 years for vacations.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to marry a Filipina.
Yeah.
And so I figured I'd end up marrying a Filipina from Philippines here.
Yeah.
I met her on Plenty of Fish.
Okay.
I was looking for Filipinas.
Yeah.
We broke up for a little bit because I couldn't understand her Visayan because she, 45 years old, lived here all her life.
Yeah.
Took 8 years to get to the U.S.
Yeah.
Got to the U.S., met me the first week she was there. We dated. We broke up. And
we're going to meet Elma's waiting at the new house.
Then she blocked me by not letting anybody longer than a zip code around this Chicago suburb. Nobody from around a Chicago suburb could come in, but I was the vice president of electronics for Circuit City for 10 years.
Yeah.
I know how to get unblocked.
Yeah, yeah.
So I got unblocked, and she's like, how did you find me? And again, I said, well, I have my ways. Let's date again. And so we started dating again. We got married a year later.
Wow. Congratulations. So, now today, it's all about building a house. And that's why we took a look at the existing subdivision. That's the guard here. And we're in the Uptown area of Cagayan de Oro. And you live about...
This is Masterson
Avenue. I live 1.5 kilometers south, and you live very close to KL, the private school, St. Francis. This is the hospital right here, St. Francis, a brand new private hospital, and the mall is just another kilometer. And this area gets quite congested. Oh gosh! And being in this area is a real advantage because sometimes it can take us 20 minutes just to get to the mall, the 3-kilometer drive.
And the nice thing about our new house, we avoid all this. To go to the mall.
You're only 5 kilometers from downtown. So if you do go downtown, you're going to save 10, 15 minutes from my house.
Absolutely.
Now they did build a new Gaisano's grocery store and mall up close to my house. So we don't come down here as often. We used to go to SM all the time. Now we just shop at that Gaisano's. We avoid all the traffic, but there's a real advantage to being near SM. And there's some very good subdivisions in this part of town. I mean, here's your McDonald's and your Jollibees, but behind these commercial stores,
right there.
Xavier Estates. This would be considered sort of like the grandfather of guard-gated subdivisions in Uptown. They've got a massive, beautiful community center, multiple pools. CJ's graduation ceremony was held in the community hall. It was really nice. And here we are going into really the heart of the Uptown commercial area. From Xavier, you can kind of walk or take a bicycle. And from where you live, you can just walk to the SM Mall. Lots of, and there's some zoning here. In the Philippines, normally there'll be sorry stores and vendors on the roads. They're widening.
They don't have that in the subdivisions.
Yeah, the subdivisions is the zoning's a little better here than most of the Philippines. Today is Good Friday, actually. And nothing is open in the Philippines today. The malls are closed. Everything is closed. Some of the malls will open tomorrow. And there's a nice coffee shop right in that. Where? That's Carrie. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's our friend Carrie.
Well, let's see if my road is open here because...
Here goes our golf and card playing friend Carrie. He lives in these condos right back here.
That one?
Yeah, the one next to the Hall of Justice, right up here.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, we've shown a friend's condo for sale in that building.
Golden Globe is about as old as Xavier. They're about a little over 20 years.
And there's Pueblo Church. There's this really iconic church over here at Catholic Church.
St. Francis Catholic Church.
Yeah, this is Pueblo Business Park. There's some nice restaurants here. There's the mall.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
They're building some commercial buildings nearby that it's kind of controversial. Here's the back of the mall, the annex, and restaurants. There's a lot of going on here. If you live in one of these condos.
The CDO strip right there See the different colors?
Yeah, yeah.
There's about 40 restaurants inside there, and there's great Mexican
Like
restaurants.
street food or real restaurants?
Oh, it's benches. You sit out there and eat on the benches.
More like street food.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
I know.
they serve steak. They serve Dale's Taqueria. Has that some Mexican?
I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's really
And
good.
Tootsie's is down there on the side.
Yeah, Cafe Pacifico is down there. That's right down right where that car is.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can walk from Golden Globe here. I always go down the alley there and get my Mexican food.
So here's Golden Globe. And the reason we're making this video today is you've been building this house since June of last year, and you're about 90% complete. And today we're going to talk about what motivated you to do this, what it cost, how the construction's gone, the techniques you've used.
I'll give you some tips on the bad things that happen when you're building.
The red flags.
The red flags.
And then don't do this.
It's no big deal. It really isn't.
Okay, let me just ask you the first.
Patience.
Patience and perseverance is number one for the Philippines. So, everybody's going to say, don't buy property in the Philippines. You can't own property.
What BS?
Okay, you've been married 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you view it? You just view this as...
Let me say this not in front of my wife.
Okay.
She knows, but this is how we view it. Good morning. We'll be here a couple hours. I told her before we came over here, we lived in Chicago, I said, I don't mind spending the money in the Philippines, but I've been there like 20 years, back and forth, and 10 years as a single guy, making every mistake you could ever make. I did them all.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of money, especially on dating. I don't want to spend a lot of money in the Philippines and then have to go back home to the U.S. and not have any money. So here's our agreement. Whatever we put into a house here, I keep that amount of money in the U.S. And so anything over that, now it has worked out differently because the house didn't cost me as much as I thought it was going to.
Okay.
And it's been 14 years, between dating and married, and we have most of our money in the U.S.
Okay.
So that really has not been an issue. My name is on the title.
Yes.
Took us 4 years, crazy. We got the title. My name is on the title. She is the owner because, I can't.
She owns the land.
She owns the land. But I have the title in my name. And if she were to pass away years ago, you had to sell the house. As an expat, you had to get rid of the house within 18 months.
Yeah.
It's not that way anymore.
Okay.
They will let you stay in the house, but you cannot sell it to anybody other than a Filipino.
Okay.
And if you die, then it pretty much goes to your wife's family, and
so
they divide.
Do you have a prenuptial agreement? No. You just have an agreement that if you spend $300,000 here, you're going to keep $300,000 in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And she can get into all the bank accounts. She has all the credit cards, debit cards. She can get into everything.
And what do you tell Western men who say it's a terrible idea to buy a house in your Filipino's name, even though you've been married 12 years?
I think that's crazy. Here's what I tell them. When I was married in the U.S., you know who got the house when I got divorced?
Okay, that's what
I didn't own the house.
Yeah.
She owned the house.
Yeah. Well, she owned half, and she got all of it.
The bank owned most of it until we had it paid off. But we got the divorce, and she got the house. I owned 7 movie theaters. She didn't want to have anything to do with them.
Yeah.
So she got the cash and the stocks, and I got the movie theaters.
Okay. Yeah.
And I got the shaft. So
right. Okay.
But my kids were living there, and I said, I want my kids to stay. It was a 10-acre, nice home.
Yeah.
With a motorcycle track. We had everything. Kids grew up great.
Yeah.
Now they're in their 40s and 30s, and that's what they talk about is what a great childhood they have. So I'm very tight with my kids. I talk to them every week. They understand they're not going to get this house.
Right.
If she were to pass away, God forbid, I don't know what I would do because, the title's in my name.
Yeah.
I could live in the house because they will let me, but I would probably sell and downsize.
Yeah.
Go into something. But you have every right, as more right than you do in the U.S. And here's the other thing. In the U.S., look at it. Child support, alimony, everything else. I paid alimony for 8 years in Illinois. You don't do that here in the Philippines.
So you would you
So
have
it's much safer to buy a house.
if you had only been married like 2 years, would you have do you think you would have bought a house? Because you rented for most of the time.
Well, we were planning on building.
This is the house right here, the new house.
Yeah.
Very tall.
We were planning on building a couple of years after 2018 when we bought this property.
Yeah.
It's taken us this long to get the title and get everything worked out.
Yeah. Okay, so this house is under construction. Rich tells me it's 90% complete. Here's our beautiful Chrissy. Chrissy, say hello. You've been in the back seat. You haven't said anything.
Well, welcome to my house.
Welcome. So how much did you pay for the lot, if I can ask?
Almost 23. It's 22.5, 23,000.
And today, what would it
And then
cost?
we had to pay. It's 35,000.
Today, you would pay
Yeah.
35. So
Yeah.
this lot next
Now,
door
we've
is
been offered 35 for it,
yeah.
and I said no. We really like the subdivision.
That's a good price for a lot in a subdivision so close to the mall.
And I wanted this one.
Yeah.
And
they wouldn't sell it?
No, the owner's been here the owner never built, and he's been gone for 20 years, hasn't paid any HOA fees,
Yeah, of
hasn't
course.
paid any taxes.
Yeah.
I said, fine, I'll get him all caught up.
Yeah.
We can't find the owner.
Yeah.
For 5 years.
And they don't confiscate the land and sell it at a tax sale.
No, they don't.
And it's hard to get people to pay the HOA, so it's hard to keep the services going. So where does your lot line end? Right here at the
Right here.
concrete?
So when I designed this, I said every centimeter is going to be used.
Yeah.
Every
Now, you
centimeter.
have 1 or 2 guys living here while the house
Well,
is under
that's our-
construction?
That's our
Storage?
We're starting to tear it down because
Yeah.
we're getting, no, they live on the 3rd floor.
Okay.
This is just for concrete and all the others. There's a bathroom in there for the gentleman.
Yeah,
to go to the
yeah.
bathroom.
And Rich, what's the formula you're using for paying your contractor? A lot of people, it's 50% of the
I don't
cost
believe
of.
in contractors.
Okay, so you're the general contractor.
I'm the general contractor. I built 3 movie theaters myself.
Okay.
Even stadium seating. I put in all the electronics. I put in the screens. I said, if I can do that, I can do this.
So
I've done remodels my whole life for different homes. I've never built a house.
yeah.
But absolutely, you should be your own contractor. You save so much money.
So what percentage of the cost of construction materials are you paying for labor?
I'm almost up to 20,000 in labor, and I'm at 45,000 in materials.
That's crazy. So
So,
and that's kind of what you hear sometimes. 50% of the cost of materials for
yeah,
construction.
and I'm half that.
Yeah.
So I'm 20 and 45. So
you're in for
I'm
65.
yeah, 65.
Plus the lot cost you 25 roughly.
Right. And
So
then
you're
you have
in-
all the appliances.
Okay.
This has full solar. I put solar on that house, the rental house.
Yeah. Let's
about
get
3
out of the
years ago.
sun here. So you're in, including appliances. What are you in for? Like 110,
But yeah, about 120.
120,
Yeah.
120,000 US dollars. Look at
I
this
actually
house.
built this thing for under 20,000 per square meter.
Square meter.
Yeah.
Which a house like this would normally be 50, 40 to
The
60.
contractors were quoting me 35,000 a square meter.
Meet the queen. of
Meet the queen of the man.
mansion.
Here's Elma.
This is my wife, Elma.
Hi, Elma. How are you?
Queen?
Queen, yeah.
Visit her YouTube channel.
Yeah, no. So Rich and Elma have a YouTube channel. Now, Rich, you do financial analysis.
Yeah.
And what's the name of your channel?
Trading with Rich.
Trading with
Yeah,
Rich.
Trading with
And
Rich.
Elma, what's the name of your channel?
A Philippine Kaupinay.
COWPINAY.
All right, so check out their channels. So we're going to check unbelievable 20.
Yeah, right now it's sitting at about 18,300 per square meter, but I'm not done.
Okay, so
But I have put
20,000
six-
pesos.
Yeah, we decided to just make this an open concept.
Yeah.
So the kitchen goes over there.
Yeah,
We got the big screen TV going here.
big
There's
screen
an
TV.
island that still have to go in, but we're gonna get our occupancy permit in the next 2 weeks. Once that happens, we can finish the rest. Taxes out here in CDO are 1% of your appraised value.
And annually.
Annually. So you can be a difference between a house like this could be anywhere from $700 a year to $1,200 a year, depending on what the
Yeah.
assessment.
So what's the lot size? What's the frontage on the
It's
road?
120 square meters.
120.
So it's small.
Yeah. So how many feet for the people back in the West? How many feet along the road?
33.
33 feet of frontage, and what's your depth?
40.
So it's 33 by 40. Now this window here, what does this go to?
This goes around. Over here, you have to have a easement where they can get into the water and everything else, so.
Is this like a dirty kitchen?
Yeah, it can be.
Okay.
She's gonna put her washer and dryer. We
Yeah.
did bring a dryer from
Yeah.
Texas, so. And that is reverse osmosis water for our workers. We also have bottled water.
Okay. So this could almost be maid's quarters back here.
Could be.
Yeah.
If you want it.
So this
And
is an
there's a
easement
door.
for what reason again? To get around the property?
You can't build all the way to the firewall.
Oh, so that's your zero lot line right there.
According to their,
Yeah.
codes. This is your walk-in pantry, which everybody thinks this is gonna be our maid quarters. Like, no.
Yeah, and this here is a bathroom.
Yeah, bathroom.
CR.
This is
Okay.
one of the refrigerators.
Refrigerator here.
There.
Where are the stairs?
And
I missed the stairs.
You won't
Oh, here
believe
they
how
are.
hard it was to convince the filthy architect not to put a landing in. I was like, I don't need a landing.
Yeah.
It takes up too much space.
Yeah.
So this goes up to the second floor. The other one over the top of this goes to the third floor.
Okay, let's go up and
So
check
you
it
can walk
out.
on this.
Yeah.
He's in the middle of putting it together.
Yeah. And you're 30 days away from completion, do you think?
Yeah. God, I hope.
Okay, nice and
Well,
bright. What's your east, west, north, south?
Ocean's right there.
So this is due north to the ocean,
Mm-hmm.
and
I've
right
got-
across the street you got some commercial activity.
Yeah.
Do you have any
And then
restaurants?
that's the
Or,
valley on the other side.
so what? Do you have any stores you can just walk to, like 7-Elevens and things like that?
Oh, there's, yeah, down there in the corner.
Okay.
And that condo that you were talking about
Yeah.
is on the other side.
Can you get out? Or you have to go all the way through the main gate? Oh,
Yeah. So I built this house facing directly south. So that's 180 degrees on a compass.
okay, so this is here. Is this the side or the front? No, the front's here. So the house faces south, the back is north, and this is your
And my roof is like this.
east. This is your west here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That takes you down the hill. That's down the hill.
You get a little road noise.
Yeah.
You're,
When you close the windows.
oh, so
don't
you have
hear
double pane windows. You're
Yeah,
not going
you
to
don't
hear.
hear
Okay.
them.
And that's unusual here in the Philippines to have double pane windows.
Well, my roof is extremely unusual because you notice that, of course, these guys are kind of flat. I built it at a 20-degree angle.
Yeah.
Because that's the angle you want for solar when you're at this, on the parallel.
Yeah.
And I wanted a house when I bought the lot that was exactly 180 degrees south.
Okay.
So that's what you want to be, is 181 south, and you want to be 20-degree angle. That's what my roof
Okay.
is.
Awesome. So we've just come up on the second floor. You turn left.
Turn left. Bedroom for guests.
Guest bedroom. Okay.
Shower.
Second guest bedroom. Hold on. Second guest bedroom. Shower and it's just a shower or CR?
Shower's there.
Shower. It's a little hard
Sink.
to see.
Sink
will go
goes right here.
And this is
We
the
can turn it on.
CR.
We haven't sunk the light.
Okay.
And then commode.
And commode. And then what is this here? This is a closet, just a linen closet.
Mm-hmm.
This is the master bedroom, the main bedroom.
This is master bedroom.
Okay. And you're facing the street here.
So we're
Facing south. It's a little morning sun.
Facing Melvin. Melvin's house over there. He's on the board for the HOA, so
He's got solar too.
he does.
Yeah. Okay.
I
This
have,
room.
I have 30 panels. I'm running.
Well, you have another control box here. I saw a big one downstairs.
Yeah, I put 3. That way you can not have to run downstairs if you have.
Now this is the master bath. Here's your shower,
That's, commode.
a commode, shower here.
Rack, towel.
Okay, that's just
That's a
linens.
closet.
And here's your shower.
Here's a shower.
And
Now the
what is this?
controls are over here, and the shower head's over here. I don't want to get cold when I turn the shower on.
Yeah, right.
You know how you always do
Yes,
this.
always.
So I put the controls over there, and the shower this way, and then of course the glass door.
Now you have hot water at every faucet in the house, or just certain ones? This is your big walk-in closet.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the total square footage of this house is going to be about 2,600, 2,700 square feet.
And what's funny is the thing you just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is hot water going to every floor, out of pocket.
Yeah.
But we bought 2 water heaters for for the showers because our Filipino family is not used to having faucets.
Right.
So my wife said, let's go ahead and put the heaters in the bathrooms.
So how big is the Filipino family?
15 brothers and sisters.
15 brothers and sisters. So what's the number, the most people that ever slept over at your rental house?
About 40.
It's 36. 35 is our record.
40.
This house will be 5 beds. So you have 3 downstairs. Wow. This is the top floor?
Because there'll be 2 up here.
Is this the top floor? Wow. And this is, what do we call this here? Is this like an open attic or what is this?
The wall goes in there. My office bedroom is over here.
Are you, so you,
for me? That'd be great.
You still,
so dusty.
You still have walls to be put in.
Yeah.
And this south side.
Walls, I'm doing sliding doors. Hidden walls here. This is my office with a bedroom over here.
You sure you could easily sleep 35 Filipinos up here?
Good. The 3rd floor is American. The 2nd and 1st floor are Filipino.
Yeah.
So she got total say on the first 2 floors. I get total say on this one.
Yeah.
So this is my wet area.
This is your wet area. What are you going to do here?
This way, yeah. So my commode is there.
Okay.
My double jacuzzi is here.
Okay.
And then my washer dryer is right here because I want to do my own towels and my own shorts. And then from here over with this drain is my shower and sauna.
So the walls haven't been put in yet. Why is that?
I don't want the guy to see what I have up here because he'll raise my taxes.
Don't tell anybody. Okay.
But anyway, it's a common thing. Don't fit it. Your attic. Now, up here, the whole thing's finished. It's an attic.
So you have a whole nother level? So you're going to have a finished attic eventually?
Yeah, see all that wood there? Marine plywood? It goes from there all the way to the middle. And where you're standing, right here in this corner, I'm making an elevator that goes up and down right here. And then it sits up against the ceiling and you don't see the elevator. You just push the button over here and it'll come down.
Yeah.
I got the hoist out of China and I'm going to build it myself and put it over here.
This is all in your 120,000 estimate?
Yep. This is my gym. So you can work out. The weights go on the back side and the lifts go on this side.
Yeah.
Then my bench goes right here. From here to there is my kitchen, which I'm not putting in until after we get the occupancy.
Gotcha.
Where you're standing is my island. So that's going to be a 90 centimeter tall.
Is this like your man cave up here? Is that what you got going on?
Man cave.
Yeah.
Absolutely. As a matter
And what are you going to do up in this attic? I'm confused about that.
Take the elevator up and store Christmas
Storage, okay, got it. All right.
Oh, tell a Filipino she's got an extra closet space, she will find stuff to put in.
Yeah.
But this is going to be and I already have it, it's all downstairs. We already bought the granite. From here to that pole, all granite, and then my sink goes in there. I've got an automatic ice maker that goes on the side. So this is kind of my man cave for all the guys to sit and drink. We got a refrigerator and a freezer on both sides. Over here is the kitchen where I'll put all my appliances. This side, I got an 81-inch LG that goes there, and I got a 65-inch Samsung that goes there, and I got another LG that goes here, but I got it on a, what do you call it, triangular? But anyway, I can tilt it.
Yeah. So let me ask you the most important question. If you were 100% complete, everything's all buttoned down, what do you think you could sell this house for?
12 to 14 million.
12 to 14 million. So you could double your money basically.
Yeah, take my stuff out.
Take your appliances out, you mean?
Yeah.
So your weights, your appliances, furniture, 12 to 14 million.
And I'd have to add on the solar. If they didn't want the solar, I would take it with me.
Okay.
And the solar is right about 10,600.
Okay. So when you say 120,000 US dollars, does that include the solar and the appliance and the elevator? All in. And so 120,000 US dollars is roughly 7 million pesos maybe, right? And you could probably sell this for 12 to 14. So you could double your money. Now you did buy the lot a long time ago, but it's only gone up 50% in all those years.
Almost. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's some appreciation of the lot, maybe 12,000.
The main thing that you save is doing the contracting yourself and buying your materials. Because the contractors are notorious for upping the prices on materials.
What did you save? What do you estimate you saved?
How much do I save?
by doing it yourself?
Probably 30-40%.
So
Easily.
okay.
Easily.
So half
And the
of
contractors
the
kept telling me, well, we're going to charge you what you want to do. It's 35,000 a square meter, and we'll buy the materials. I said, well, where's the incentive for you to get lower priced materials if you want me to pay double what the materials are? So if you buy 7 million materials, you're going to charge me 7 million for the house.
So how did you start? You hired an architect,
Yeah.
and what did you pay the architect for the plans?
Altogether, architect was $500, and the permits were around about another $700.
So $1,200 US for architect
We had to
plus
put a
permits.
$2,000 bond down to not ruin the streets here,
Yeah.
which we'll get back.
Okay.
And I did include that in the total,
Yeah.
in case I don't get the bond back.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to sell used houses here in the Philippines. New houses a lot easier.
Yeah.
So, Rich, if people have construction questions or they want to contact you directly, what's a good email they can write you at?
Trading with Rich at Yahoo.
tradingwithrich@yahoo.com. If you've got construction specific questions, you want to get some of his advice, he can be your big brother also. And if you're interested in a consultation, you can write Chrissy and me at flyme2thephilippines@gmail.com. We'll help you with your moving to the Philippines questions, your dating online questions. And don't forget to buy our book. You can just search Fly Me to the Philippines ebook or Fly Me to the Philippines paperback at Amazon.com. And you'll have a guide to bring with you to the Philippines. Till next time, from Fly Me to the Philippines.